Hello everyone, welcome back to the Canada Challenge. We are going to continue where we left off, which is end of Season 2, start of Season 3. And this could be the season where we will have some better results, we'll see. We'll be able to develop the underfloor again with CFD. Last season we came 6th, 78 points, almost 100 points behind 5th place, and well, almost 200 points behind 4th. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can pose a challenge to any of these teams above us this season. That is going to be the goal. But let's just get right into it with the start of the new season. Let's first manage the sponsorships. We'll take all the free money we can get. Race sim events, I assume we cannot take any of these tuning down. Oh, we can tune down that one, good. Mobilia we can't tune down, and driver appearance. We're gonna put Stroll on this because even though he is the better driver, we do need to boost Latifi, and having him have slowing his experience gain is not the way to do that. So with that, we have the sponsorship stats, pretty straightforward. Again, wouldn't really be too concerned. The objective 9th or above, we became 6th. They should be happy. We did also beat this one, I believe. Balance, we have a lot of money. I don't think we need to be concerned about that. The technical here, we did have some hits to cooling and airflow, so we're going to be struggling probably with dirty air and of course cooling at the start of the season, but I don't think it's going to be anything too terrible. Financially, there is no changes, and sporting wise, we're going to the difficult rules, the ones where we need to get 8th or better to even get points. So this could be a bit challenging. Actually, the point scoring system might be the biggest demerit, but we'll see. We might actually be able to take advantage of it. But most likely, it will just be a case of pain for us. Now, we will be going with Renault, of course. We're going to be sticking with them. And we now have 74 days for the next race. So, first things first, we have officially started Season 3. We're now allowed to upgrade everything we own to level 3, and we're going to go ahead and do that, of course. It's going to be a pretty sizable upgrade, particularly with the design center giving us an extra car part design project. And for the wind tunnel, we're going to be upgrading that too. Same with the CFD. This is going to drain some of our money, and I might as well just go suspension and car part test center as well. We should probably also refurbish the factory. Do you know what? We're actually going to upgrade the factory to level 3. That way we should never have any problems where we can't manufacture all the parts we need, because we are still fairly error prone. Team Hub is going to get an upgrade. Race Sim is going to get an upgrade because, well, they're good. And I don't think we're going to touch anything here again. We could build a helipad for more money, but even after the upgrades that we just did, we have 70 million remaining and basically a full season ahead of us. So I'm not concerned about us ever running out of money. Now, we will, as I said, start by designing an underfloor. That is pretty self-explanatory why. It is the strongest part of the car. We are reaching kind of diminishing returns, though, on this underfloor. So we'll have to see what we do, if we keep on going with it, or if we, do something else. As you can see, the only thing that we're really lacking is, well, the thing that we were lacking, if we get low speed, we're going to be first in everything. But high-speed cornering is going to be lacking. If we go optimized aerodynamics, it's still going to be first in everything, actually. But we're going to be lacking a little bit more in, cornering. But it's still a decent upgrade. So what I'm thinking is that we go low speed. We max out that. It's either that or we go high speed here. And put low speed on both the front wing and the rear wing, because this way it is kind of balanced and it would help us out a bit. So we're gonna do this. It's probably not the best way of going forwards, but again, I'm still struggling to find a balance when using presets, so to speak. So let's go front wing. It's going to be focused on, of course, low speed performance. It's going to hurt the rear a little bit, but of course we're making a new underfloor that should help that. We have the worst high-speed front wing in the, league, but that's fine. There we go. Front wing and underfloor is in the making, but will be done for Bahrain. We'll have to see if we actually do a rear wing here, or maybe a suspension. I think we might do a suspension, but we'll see. We'll also be getting, a week or two after Bahrain, the new, what's it called? The new design slot. Car part development is open, ATR, we already done that. Let's see at the team rosters. So Red Bull kept the same ones, Ferrari kept them, Ricciardo and Gasly and AlphaTauri, I believe. Or am I stupid? Oh, for Alfa Romeo, I am slightly stupid. Hamilton, Russell still, Alonso at Ocon, Latifi, Stroll on us, Vettel and Albon at AlphaTauri, Bottas and Norris at McLaren. I don't think I've ever seen Bottas go to McLaren. This could be interesting. Schumacher and Magnussen at Haas, and Show and Tsunoda filling out Aston Martin. Could be interesting. We'll be checking our car once we get to Bahrain, of course. See how it stacks up against our opponents. But for now, we'll allow just time to pass. So race sim has been upgraded. Very good. Factory is in poor condition. We are upgrading it, so it's not a concern. Roman Stanek, an up-and-coming driver, potentially. But sent to import condition, that is the one thing that we always want to keep refurbished. I wish you could start refurbishing before they break. That would be beneficial. And we did see Porsche having some points there, so I'm just checking the staff points because they are more important. We got a point in for Diego, bringing him up to 79 overall. Again, very, very nice. Next facility upgrade here is also reaching completion. Team Hub. And what is the next one here? Car part test center. Okay, so we're getting some of them done. This should help a little bit with cooling. Excuse me. That was the front wing. Let's get 6 of them manufactured. Should have plenty of time to get it done before Bahrain. And I don't know if we'll actually be able to design a suspension here in time. We'll see. Suspension is also fairly good here. The only thing it's lacking really is just cooling. Otherwise, it is the best suspension you can get. It won't give us any direct upgrades, but it's really, really good. So that is nice. How long will it take to make this thing? 35 days. And with Intense, it's going to take... no, 25 days. Because we didn't put engineers on it. That's good. We'll get the suspension going. It won't be a big upgrade, as I said, but it will be an upgrade. And then we'll, of course, probably do the other two. We'll have to see. Because we now have the 3rd slot. So we'll have to see exactly how that ends up affecting us. Because we are still going to be making every part once before we make it a second time. Okay. Suspension sim completed. Pre-season testing results. Let's see where we stack up. Let me guess, this is the safety sim. I'm curious if this actually, has an effect on when it's finished, or when it gets started to design. I probably should test that out at some point. But if it's after, it's going to be great. 24th season has begun. Our results, 17th, 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 15th. Probably should check what the board is expecting here, because we did come 6th last season. 6th or above. Score podiums. Oh. Well, we have 4 years to do that, so I wouldn't be too concerned. Front wing manufacturing has been completed. We have a new ATR period. There we go, underfloor complete. And what we are going to be doing that is, of course, immediately manufacture it. But we are going to be rushing 4 of them, so we have them for the race. We're also going to go ahead here and immediately develop that rear wing. And it's going to be a silly rear wing because it's going to be focused on, low speed cornering spec. So it is what it is, I guess. But even this would be a pretty significant upgrade even before we start doing any sliders. Optimized aero, wouldn't really do anything. If we go to low speed here, low speed performance would still give us a boost in the DRS zone. It would give us a slight boost here. It'd still be a boost all around, but again, it's 2nd edition when you use 50 that really shines. So I think this is cool. Excuse me again. I think this is cool. And I think I'm going to go with it. We're just going to have to invest into a bit of balance here. Because if we, let's face it, if we maximize high speed, medium speed, or low speed, medium speed, we'll shine at some tracks and maybe win. But we need a car that can kind of perform everywhere, because our drivers are error prone. And that is kind of a problem. Because if we maximize our performance on some tracks and we have a lot of errors, we're going to be crying. And I'd like to avoid, as much as possible, to have to partake in any crying. So we'll actually get 3 pieces done here before the first race in Bahrain. Beautiful. And we're going to immediately develop, I think, Sidepods. And of course, they're going to be race performance. Our Sidepods still have a little bit of work to do before they start to become something, you know, really good. But it's actually upgrades our acceleration, so we need more numbers to actually see how much. But it is an upgrade, and that is all we care about. So let's get that cooking. And we're almost at the first race of the season. Weather center refurbish complete. Here we are. Post-Bahrain testing results. So this is without the new parts on the car. We are 17th, 15th, mostly. We're middle of 3 on acceleration, lower end on DRS. So with that said, we are going to head to our warehouse. We are going to find the new pieces, the front wing. And as you can see, this will actually delegate us to the end of the pack, well, the back of the pack in high-speed cornering. The new underfloor will immediately fix that, bringing us quite a lot further up the grid in many aspects, particularly when we get that second underfloor done. Although it's going to be a little bit late, it's going to be great. Apparently we only managed to get one of these done in time, but it's even that slight boost brings us a little bit further up the pack. Gonna give it to Stroll. I thought we would have another one, but I guess I'll have to enter practice and see. Let's go see if I can equip it once we're actually, you know, started the race weekend proper. Because that would actually be kind of interesting. Okay, so the only thing that we want to check now before I get practice and quali done with. I didn't actually check how we're looking against the other cars, I just realized, because I am a dum-dum. But yeah, we still only have 1. I thought we'd have 2. That's my bad. And well, I guess we'll check the car performance after the first race. It'll be a bit of a surprise, but as you can see there, we were about middle of the pack, lacking a little bit on the DRS, but pretty good otherwise. So this should be a rather fun Bahrain. Let's see how it goes. Unfortunately, the upgrades we did during preseason hasn't, you know, sent us up flying into potential point scoring positions. Remember, we need to be here. We're about half a second off per lap. That's worrisome. Latifi is where he used to be. Again, just slightly behind by Schumacher. But again, he doesn't have the new suspension. Stroll does. So once we get a second underfloor and maybe, you know, rear wing, we might see a bit of better results here. But so far, it looks like it's going to be a slow start to the season, like it usually is. And once we get that third slot, of course, that's going to kind of help propel us forward here. Again, softs really aren't the play here. They're just faster than mediums for 5 laps, and they really start losing out. And as you can see, the medium to hard, on the other hand, is even worse. The mediums will be quicker for their entire life cycle. 200's difference, 8/10. You can do the math there. 40 laps. So what we probably want to do is just do a very short soft stint, and then go medium, medium. It's probably not reflected in this, to be fair, but that's basically what we want to do. And it's going to be a bit hard to pull off. As you can see, just doing a hard stint here, increase that by 12 seconds. So soft, medium, medium is probably for the best. We're going to run those softs into the ground, then we're going to do the 2 mediums. And that's going to basically be a strategy for both cars. We are a bit kinder on the tires, potentially. But at the same time, it's not going to be great. Let's just put it like that. So we won't overfuel. We don't really have the, you know, opportunity to do so unless we have crashes. So we are just going to get in it. Now, what we could do, if we wanted to be really, really cheeky, is start taking penalties. For now, though, I'm just going to make sure that every part has been used. So once we actually start taking penalties, probably not this race. If we have a couple bad races, we might do it. I want to see where we're actually at in terms of pace. If we can have Stroll jump 6 positions, for instance. He did have some good races last season. Latifi here, again, it's probably going to be a minor focus. It's unfortunately just how it's going to have to be for the King. But, yeah, we'll have to see here. For now, we're going to be using engines and gearboxes. And hopefully, just hopefully, be able to get some extra before the end of the season there, when everyone else starts taking penalties. So I see a lot of soft tires, which is not surprising.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Let's see here what we see. 87. Everyone on the soft here. And Stroll has lost a position, but I think he'll be getting that back into the corner here. Maybe. Or he'll immediately get re-overtaken. Yeah.
Good job, good job.
So, not the best. Latifi did make up a place. Stroll lost one. We'll have to see if we can make something out of this race, but for now, we're just going to speed things up, and we'll see where we stand at the first pit stop. We are getting closer to that first pit stop, and it's not all bad. Stroll's made up a couple positions, one of them by Perez just, you know, setting it. Latifi and Albon has kind of been separated from the rest of the pack. Everyone else is just in one big DRS train, leaving us with very, very few options to actually make something happen. However, we do have now the first set of pit stops coming in, and they could be very, very, well, decisive to some degree. What I'm thinking is that we actually jump in maybe a lap or two early, 15 or so. So what we are going to do here is run this one, and we might as well just tune him up to aggressive. Have a little bit of push on the fuel here, same for Latifi. And we'll now run the last lap here full on attack, try and get a little bit closer to the rest. And we'll be pitting slightly early. Again, it's probably the most efficient way of doing it when you are straight up the underdog. Just catch up a little bit on a faster tire for a couple of laps. You're going to suffer at the end of your stint, but if you can keep cars behind you, you will be blessed. And I think we got kind of held up there slightly. Hamilton and Alonso were both ahead of us. Rick probably wasn't, so I think Rick actually got held up there. Good for us. And we are going to be pushing fuel here and see if we can catch up to... We're actually going to deploy and push fuel and see if we can actually catch up to Alonso. Latifi, we need to tune down. To be fair, here too, we can push a little bit of fuel on. And Stroll actually overtook Alonso, so let's see how many we jump here in the pit stops. We are now up to 13th. Everyone in the top 6 still has to pit, but if we're gonna jump any of them, don't really see that happening. Alonso did re-jump us though, and actually gained 2 places there, so that is a bit concerning. But Stroll did jump someone, very nice. Latifi is also jumping, so it's not all bad. We are making moves here, and hopefully we can keep this up for the next pit stop. The rest are pitting now. Vettel, Leclerc, Verstappen. We actually jumped all of them except for Verstappen. So right now, if we can somehow maintain our place in this DRS train right behind Verstappen, I see that is a good good thing. A lot of them went onto the hards, which are actually super slow. So potentially we could make some overtakes. It's a shame that we're so far down the DRS train though. It's going to make it difficult. We also have Bottas, first race for Mercedes McLaren. He's running in the lead there, so he's going to be a happy camper. For now, though, we're just going to allow things to progress. As I say that, we have an incident. Multiple cars have crashed, one of them being, as you can see, Latifi. And it's actually the Red Bull at fault here, by the looks of things. So let's go and have a look here on how bad we're looking. So the front wing is wasted, but that's about it. So I'm curious what exactly happened here, because the front wing is taking damage, but Perez has gotten a penalty. Did he, like, chuck into us? Okay, I said it wasn't Latifi's fault. I might have been wrong. That looked very much like Latifi's fault. I'd go and complain to the stewards if I were, you know, Red Bull. I think we're gonna do... Let's see here, what can we do? That's the main problem here. What can we do after this? The best thing maybe here would actually just be staying on those medium tires, but what I'm thinking is that we move this pit stop up to just now immediately. Put him on the softs. And then we do that final stint on the mediums. Fresh mediums. Hello. Does Latifi not have fresh mediums? He should. Yeah, chuck that in the garbage. Add a new stint. Okay, there's something weird there. I would assume he has fresh mediums. If not, we're mega screwed. Then we're actually going to have to go in the hards. And even if we go in the hards, they won't last to the end. So, we're going to go in the softs. And we're going to do a pit stop here for mediums at... Well, something like this. We'll have to see if we actually get some proper mediums there. If not, we're going to have to go in the hards. Let's have a look here and see what actually is going on with Latifi. So he does have more mediums. It's just the game being silly. Or it's because I actually put him on the... I don't know. But we're going to go for the softs here. And we're going to go in the mediums towards the end. I'll adjust this later, see what's going on. But as I said, I'm surprised that Perez actually is the one that picked up the penalty for that. It really looks like Latifi turned in aggressively, but who knows? It's a bit of a weird one. Rick runs off the track. And he's actually kind of fighting Norris there. We'll see how that fight goes. But we're currently in the points. Let's see if we can remain there.
A good overtake from Alpine.
We have entered our pit window. However, our DRS ring has been detached from the main one. We're 4 seconds behind 7th place Russell. Not much we can do about that though, but we are going to be fighting Alonso and Leclerc. Now keep in mind that the medium runners around us, Leclerc, Gasly, Russell, Verstappen and Bottas are most likely going to go on softs for their final stint. And the hard runners here, I don't know if they're going to stick on them to the end. They probably won't. They'll probably go on mediums. So we still have a chance of a point here, which would be good. Latifi's actually done a really good job here, and he has kind of made his way back up into, you know, the back of the pack. He's 11 seconds behind, which, let's face it, is not the shabbiest of work ever. We are going to take Stroll in this lap, and, well, Stroll is going to live about 57 laps, so 21 here, total on the mediums. And with that, we can actually now adjust, I think, Latifi's. No, it still gives me those old ones, but I think we can pit him lap 37, and it'll still be fine, because let's face it, well, we could also stretch him, but this calculation isn't actually correct, because we are going to be putting him on some fresh ones. So I'm thinking we actually have Latifi just go push, pull on attack, and we'll have him do one more lap, and then we'll get him in too, get him on the mediums. And let's face it, he won't jump anyone in the pits, but if he can catch up to the back of the grid, that would be pretty good in his own right here. Bit of a shame that we have immediately an incident. But yeah, Stroll, if he can jump someone in the pits here, Ocon, Gasly, Russell, for instance, by pitting a little bit earlier, that would be amazing. There is still 20 laps to go. They are going to be pitting. There's just no way around it. Can we get out ahead of... Okay, it's fine. If it's just Vettel, then it's no DRS train. It's just straight up drive-by. And that should be... I say it should be smooth sailing, but we know this game. It isn't always, so... DRS has been disabled too with a virtual safety car. Depending on how long this VSC is, it could really, you know, cause me some pain. Yeah, everyone is now pitting under VSC. I don't even know what caused it. Ricciardo ran wide. So we did get some overtaking done here. But as you can see, with getting that under VSC, we would have done so much more if there was no VSC. So we're currently up in 7th. Latifi too is going to be suffering. But the fact that Rick ran wide and gave a VSC is... it's not a good omen for the season. So Russell is on softs, Gasly is on softs, everyone up top is on softs. We're actually pretty high up on the mediums here, but we are going to be losing out a bit. Let's face it, Leclerc is going to overtake us. If we can stick with Leclerc, that would be for the best. But we're already running pretty low lap times compared to the rest. And it's going to take 10, 15 laps before we actually start seeing an advantage. So what's going to happen here is if we stick with Leclerc, we might be able to fight the cars at the front.
Ferrari,
If we cannot
advance
stick
the
with
race
Leclerc,
position.
then we will at best be fighting for 8. But currently it looks like it's good. And Latifi here, actually with an extra, well, not an extra pit stop, but an earlier pit stop, is slowly clawing his way back up to the back of the grid. And we're just too slow to compare the cars in front. Like Leclerc's running 35.6s, they're running 34.9s. So yeah,
Oh,
kind of already
Ferrari
dropping
just
off.
gained the
But
place.
even with that, we can't really make anything happen. I think it's time that we start pushing and really see if we just can make something happen here. Even then, I think it's going to be quite difficult to actually catch up to, as I said,
And a
Russell,
new position
Gasly,
just gained by Williams.
and it's just how things are going to be. Honestly, we might also end up just saving here in like 5 laps time if we don't see any chance of
And
gaining,
there's an overtake from Williams.
because then we'll be fighting Leclerc for 7th, which again is actually fairly acceptable. It is a couple of points. And I think we might just need to do that because they aren't slowing down enough. Again, if that VSC hadn't appeared when it did,
Sounds like
we
someone's
probably would have
locked
jumped a
up.
couple more cars. That is just how much of a pace difference we had for those few laps. So energy is looking good, time was looking good. We're just gonna leave things be because they might hit 30, but even if they do, I don't think they're gonna be slow enough that we'll catch up because, well, oh, Hamilton is pitting. That's great.
Sounds like a spin.
Are the others gonna pit too, or are we gonna get some fun times there? Because what we could do is try and push our tires a little bit. It is still 6 laps. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go aggressive. We're gonna push our
Sounds like
tires
someone's gone wide there.
and see if we can take just enough advantage to try and catch up a little bit. Although Leclerc is being, you know, annoying. And it is a bit of a gamble in terms that I might just not have the tire to fight Leclerc towards the end. And of course, he's going to keep on getting me on that DRS straight. Yeah, I don't see it happening. If we had a car that we could easier fight, like the Alpines, we would have been in a much smoother position. For now, the goal is just secure this 6th place. It could be vital for us. Latifi is still just doing his thing. Again, I'm just going to leave him be. There's no real chance of points there. So Claire's still sticking with us, and we now have Ocon too to party with. So let's go aggressive. Let's push. Let's deploy. See if we can get away. It's a bit of a risk we're taking here by doing this, but I had a hope. But it looks like we're going to be fighting Ocon instead of Leclerc. And we are actually getting very, very close now to the back of the other cars. So can we close down to the DRS zone?
Yep.
And make something happen? I think we're going to have to tune down fuel usage so we don't run out.
Increase, lift and coast.
Okay.
But if we have a few good corners, we might just get slightly up here. I think we just spend a little bit too much time fighting Leclerc, but we're allowed to hope.
You have the overtake.
I think we have DRS now. We should. We do. I don't think we'll catch up to Gasly on this straight. But we might be close enough to launch an attack on the next one. Gonna have to go neutral though. Are we gonna do a double on the outside? Oh, come on, that was so close. If we had just had a little bit more energy.
And we think you can reduce lift and coast.
Yeah, that's my bad for the gamble. did not really pay off, but we were close. We were a tiny bit there away from a fourth place. One more lap and we would have them. So I could have played that a bit more.
That was tough.
Bit safer. Latifi also made his way up to 18th. So a good starter here, honestly. Not the worst thing we've ever done. That scores us 3 points. That could be very important. Again, 10 points is the maximum a driver can get per race, 18 for a team. Sainz wins, Verstappen second, Bottas gets on the podium for his first McLaren race. Gasly scores for Alpha. And Stroll secures that 6th place, which is, again, very good. It's real nice. Very nice. Now, what I forgot to do before the race, we shall do now, and that is, well, wind tunnel has been upgraded, so that is pretty good. That is actually check the car analysis. So currently we're still lacking turning, we're okay speed-wise. Compared to, say, the Ferrari's actually gone way worse over the, well, since the last check, but as you can see, it's just 0.015 to get up to 7th. And, well, it's a bit more to get up on the high-speed part of things, but we'll get there. Let's check the Red Bull. It's actually surprising that Verstappen didn't win. As you can see, they're still first in a lot of things, just like in the low speed. So, yeah, Red Bull's still very strong. But I think our car is okay. We're still going to need to work on cornering, of course, but we're getting there. Wind tunnel upgrade is complete. Good. We are exceeding expectations. And I believe both of our drivers had a point for the braking stat. There we go. So, we have next race in 4 days. I don't think we have anything that will be finished before that. We will get the second suspension, though, that we can give to Latifi. Hopefully that'll give him a bit more... you know, fighting chance. But let's head over to Jeddah and see if we can continue scoring points in the hunt for, hopefully, 4th place. Yeah, we are not having a good time. So, Latifi had in Q1. He was 16th though, so honorable mentions. But as you can see, we have been most likely yeeted out. I haven't actually seen the replay yet. Damage to rear wing and suspension. No chance of getting that fixed in time. And, well, yeah, we're not getting that fixed in time. So, I'm wondering who's going to get that penalty. Because I'm pretty sure we got hit in the back and sent flying by our arch enemy, the Alonso. Okay, so Alonso is actually on a cool lap, like a slow lap, and he decides to try and follow Stroll, locks up, and takes him out. So yeah, that's that. Wondering if he had any damage to the car. We'll see once he actually finishes quali, but that is a shame. Not much we can do about that.
P0.
It's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Here we are. Alonso did pick up a penalty. He did finish 14th, so that will Stroll up to 14th. We're going to be doing inverted strategies here. Latifi starts on the hard, Stroll starts on the medium. I was contemplating having Stroll on the medium as well, but he is starting 14th, and we did have a pretty good race last time out. So we're going to try and stick to the DRS train and try and jump them in the pits. That is going to be the goal. For Latifi, we probably could have done the same, but he is a bit slower, so he won't actually be able to hold on to said DRS train. So with that in mind, I think the inverted strategy is the best. And we have some others running inverted. We also have someone running an early stopper, but most are running just that one stopper here. And we'll see if we can make something happen. It's going to be probably a bit of a tougher race, but we'll do our best and see if we can get in the points there. This race has not gone in our favor. 13th and 14th, as you can see, we are a couple of seconds behind Magnussen, who's again 4 seconds behind Gasly. And basically we got left behind by the rest train. Albin was running it on his softs, he pitted, and then we ended up in, well, basically no man's land here. Now I'm thinking we actually do go for the pit strategy this lap. We're just gonna push what we can here out of these tires, get in, get onto that hard tire to the end. And we're just gonna, as I said, gamble here on maybe by pitting a lap or two earlier that we get some positions here, but it's not looking very, very promising, let's be honest. There's just too many gaps there. Verstappen is actually pitting the exact same lap that we are, so yay us. But we'll be running in the back here. Hopefully, again, we can just use DRS for easy overtakes. That's going to be the hope. And for Latifi, is just going to run his own thing. I guess we should push the fuel here for a couple of laps. Latifi still has a lot to do on this tire before he goes onto the mediums, so we'll see how he hangs in there. Pit stops are beginning though, as you can see, so 5 cars just pitted. And potentially Latifi might actually act as somewhat of a door, well, not a door block, a wood block, door stopper, car stopper, and basically be slowing them up a little bit here to allow Stroll to catch up to the back of the pack. That would actually be beautiful, but we'll see how it plays out. For now though, we'll continue until Latifi, well, gets close to his pit stop. We've had a big crash, yellow flag so far, red flag actually. That's beautiful for Latifi. But at the same time, this is gonna suck for Stroll.
Red flag.
We can take a look.
What actually happened here?
So let's look at this. There's Sergio
Oh.
Perez.
That's nasty. I had to take a screenshot, sorry about that, you probably heard it.
The team are really disappointed with that.
That's actually pretty nasty. Imagine if those two cars actually got stuck front to front or back to front there and, you know, holding up the entire track. That's probably the most reasonable red flag I've seen in this race. So one of them is out, the other isn't. For Latifi, we're going to put him on the mediums here, and he's just going to have to make the most to the end. Hards could theoretically work, but there's no point. Mediums would be better, considering that we're running 20 laps. Again, shame here for Stroll. Not his fault, nothing we can do with that. But Latifi definitely paid off by staying out long.
All drivers have taken their positions again. Once more, they're ready to race.
Okay, so we have very
And it's
slight...
lights out, and away we go.
If we push fuel, the tires aren't really gonna last. What is everyone on? Everyone is on medium tires. Okay, so I don't think we can push fuel unless we have an accident.
Let's reduce lifting coast.
Can probably use overtake until we're out of energy. That should be okay. And Latifi is fighting battle. And he might actually get it done, yeah. Still fighting. Let's see if he can stick it out there. And he did it, so that's good. Latifi in the points currently. Let's see if he can stick that again. We'll have to see what we do in terms of tires, because that is going to be a pain here. But for now, the restart looks good. Stroll again got really just screwed over by that decision.
DRS is currently disabled.
Should probably have tuned down Latifi's ERS a bit earlier, because right now he's going to be a sitting duck for, well, anyone really. And let's face it here, we are going to have to stay with Alonso if we want any hope of, well, we are not staying with Alonso. If we want any hope of getting that 8th place, we've already failed that, so let's speed things up here, see if we actually make something out of this. It's just a shame the red flag hit Stroll at such a bad time. Does unfortunately not look like Latifi actually has what he's taken here. He's been just falling down. He just doesn't have enough pace, unfortunately. Stroll has been making steady work though, getting up to, you know, 14th. 4 laps to go. Don't see us getting up here no matter what we do. Even if we push tires, even if we push fuel, it just isn't enough time. And we just don't have enough pace. So we're not going to fight this. We're just going to allow it to run to the end here. It's a bit unfortunate again. Because that red flag kind of boomed both of our drivers. If it had come when Latifi was up in 5th fourth. I think it was 50 was up to it maximum. I don't know if it was fourth. But basically, once he was up here in this area, we'd have a lot better chance of scoring points. Unfortunately, that won't be the case now. Latifi is running yellow, already on tire wear, so Russell actually wins too. But yeah, considering that we had the accident in quali for Stroll, that he got screwed over by the red flag, I still say this is an acceptable outcome. We don't get any points, but the fact that Magnussen got 6 points though is kind of, you know, whack. He's on the podium. That's going to be a problem. Vettel got a point too. So in terms of constructors then, we get booted to 8th. So yeah, this was not a good race for us. We got destroyed in quali by Alpine, and then we got kind of screwed over by the red flag. Unfortunate, but that is what it is. Suspension manufacturing is completed. The science center has been completed too, which means that we can go ahead. Well, we're gonna have to nab an engineer, but we can go ahead and start a new project. So let's nab a engineer from the Sidepod project. That's fine, I think. It should be fine. And we'll have him start a new chassis design. And we'll immediately have it be race spec, because we don't really care for anything else. Chassis still needs a little bit of work on a lot of things here. We might need to do optimized, not cooling, optimized aerodynamics down the line too. Trying to help ourselves out a little bit. Can't speak today. As you probably heard through this video, I'm not in the best shape. I think I picked up some flu or something from the kids at school. Just not feeling well. But yeah, Science Center has been upgraded, which allows us to get an extra project going, which will of course speed up our progress by a significant amount. Let's just leave it at that. Now, suspension is in low stock because we did destroy one. Same with chassis, so let's go ahead and just get one chassis manufactured, get a suspension manufactured. And again, it's just to be on the safe side. And I believe I also need to manufacture a front wing and a rear wing. Well, we don't destroy rear wings as often, so I should probably make 4. But I can and will make a front wing. Go front wing at least has been manufactured. Confidence check-in, high confidence, good. Cardamom report, nothing much here. We do need to get better at cornering, mainly. We do have Australia coming through right now. That's going to be an interesting one. Let's just head right in, see if we can, hopefully, nab a point or two. Not the best quali ever, but also not the worst. 13th and 16th. We are moving up. Hopefully we can keep it going. We're still pretty far behind, you know, the leaders. 8/10 here in Austria on a fairly short track. Not promising, but we can always level up. We still have some season to work with. Still, the less than a month until 23 comes out, and hopefully I'll have this beat by then. If not, I'm going to be sad. But yeah, we're starting 13th, starting 16th, and it is Australia, which means that the soft tires are virtually useless. They degrade 700s quicker than the mediums when they only have a 5/10 advantage. 7 laps in, your softs are going to start looking pretty grim. They do have a huge advantage in the first few laps, but they do fall off pretty quick. And medium to hard is about a 15 lap advantage as well, so medium to hard could work, but again, medium, hard, medium is probably the better bet. Or if we could, accidentally do like a very short soft stint towards the end, but even I think that's a bit too risky. So this is probably the better strategy. We can push on the first set of tires for sure, which means that we are in overfuel range, of course. And I think that's okay. I think this should be a decent strategy here. We'll go for the overtakes, and we'll see if we can get something out of this from the get-go here.
As the sun continues to shine, get ready for the Australian Grand Prix.
So the McLarens are actually quick, well, one McLaren, so might need to check.
It's lights out And
and see
away
just
we
how
go.
good their car is. Sure, up in 13th, can he make something happen? Maybe. So we have one car starting on the hards, Bottas. The rest are starting on mediums, which should say that we're getting a lot of two-stoppers, most likely. Pretty good start here from Stroll. Up into 11th.
Williams there
10th now.
gaining
And
several
it looks like he
places in
actually
one
is
go.
kind of locking in the place. We are still going to have to fight a little bit,
Found a lock-up.
but it is definitely promising. Luckily, that lockup from Albon didn't murder us. And the fact that Stroll is still fighting with Hamilton is pretty good here. But looks like he's made that stick. And then of course we have
And there's
Bottas.
an overtake
Bottas is
from
on the
Williams.
hards. We really want to get by him quick. As you can see, it's already half a second up to the rest of the DRS train. So what I'm thinking is that we might just go aggressive on the tire usage and
We're happy to push.
try and get by him as quickly as we can, so that we don't get detached from that DRS train up into the points. It's going to be a bit wasteful on the tires, yeah. Is it going to be necessary? Most likely. Maybe. We'll see. Latifi has made up a place due to Albon locking up. Well, I think Albon started behind him, so maybe not. But he has made up a place, and that is good to see. Now we do, as I said, need to get by Bottas yesterday. And I think we're going to get that done now. Good. Go neutral. We're still just going to push like this, and hopefully close down this, 10th or so. And it's very touch and go right now. I
New
could
position,
deploy,
just gained by Williams.
but that would still be very, very risky. So I think we have lost the DRS train here. Oh, no, we're good. We are good. Very good. Stonking lap indeed.
Yeah.
So Latifi did get the night collector there, but honestly,
So what?
getting Stroll onto that DRS train up to first place is way more important. And by extension here, we actually helped Bottas. So we're not safe still. We're still running pretty far back. So the concern is that the second we run out of extra fuel, we're just going to get left behind, and we kind of are already. So yeah, could still be pretty bad. We do have some tire to play with. That is the only saving grace that we have. But right now, as you see, it's basically we're not getting back into that DRS train. It's just not happening. Well, that's unfortunate. But with that said, let's speed up time.
With a great overtake.
And we shall see where we stand once we actually get into the first pit stop. We are getting close to the pit window here. There's now 6 seconds between Hamilton and Alonso, which is, pretty far. So what I'm thinking is that we actually get in now, this lap,
Push.
a couple laps earlier than expected, because again, the hard should be able to survive it. And I don't think it's going to close down the 6-second gap, but at this point we need to try something, and this is honestly the best bet that we have. Of course, I actually pitted the wrong driver in my infinite wisdom, so yeah, we'll see. It might actually help Latifi out too, to be fair, but still, I did end up pitting the wrong driver because I was, well, focused on the strategy more so than the driver himself. So the idea here, I think, is that we run aggressive and we just get on the mediums too a couple of laps earlier. Run aggressive for 2-3 laps until the rest of them pit. And hopefully by doing so, we'll be able to jump at least some of them during the pit stops. So to lap 17, 18 will allow them to run like this. Now we have cars pitting, Norris, Leclerc, Russell. We did jump Russell, so that is positive, but we were ahead of Russell to begin with. Sainz pitting. The ones that we really want to keep an eye on here is actually Vettel, Ocon, Hamilton. Those are the ones that we want to beat out, if we can. So again, right now we're just pushing, seeing what we can do. They are still not pitting, which could hint to them doing the one-stopper. which means that this pushing could end up backfiring tremendously. So we'll tune it down now. We actually ran it a lap longer than I intended. Do need to get by that Haas though, ASAP.
Check the DRS.
Okay.
Looks like it ain't happening. We might go on old mediums here, so it should be slower than us by a fair amount. Guess we're just gonna have to recharge and see if we get by. We did get by the second we started recharging, so interesting.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Should be having no problems now chasing down Tsunoda. We have more pit stops in the front. None that we could actually, jump. And there are some... The remaining medium runners here, I think, are going to do a one-stopper. Can we jump Hamilton and... Ocon? We did. Very good. Now, we have 6 seconds now up to Norris, who's on... Everyone ahead of us now is on fresh, so... That's going to be a bit of a problem. Latifi's doing his best in 14th. Just running nicely there. But honestly, all we can do now is just try and survive until lap 40. When we will be pitting again. So let's see if we can pull that off or not. We are getting closer to that final pit stop. We're currently running in 10th. We do have a yellow flag right now. And it looks like Ocon is off the track. What I'm thinking is that we're going to push and just get onto the mediums right away. And hopefully, by doing so, we'll be able to, hopefully catch up to these boys. It's probably not going to happen, but I can dream. And that is exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to have a bit of a hope. Let's see if we can pull something off. Now, Bottas behind us here has actually pitted onto medium already, and he's already down to 84%. So we'll have to see exactly how that ends up, affecting him. But we are pitting now. We're pitting the correct driver this time. And we're not going to come out ahead of the gaggle, unfortunately. We're going to come out behind Show, which is going to be not great. Let's just leave it at that. So we're going to run standard. We are going to push a little bit of fuel. It should help a little bit with the speed, but the gaggle with Albon and everyone there is going to be painful. There's no way around it. I should have probably considered that a little bit more before I made this move in terms of pitting. Hopefully, though, with the gap that we've made with Magnussen there, he couldn't catch up, but he immediately did, so even that got thwarted pretty easily. Go standard, go balanced, and we'll go balanced if Stroll too. We might need to just sit behind and recharge for a little bit. Sainz is actually pitting, so the pit stops have started. Sainz, Norris, Alonso, Russell. Can we jump any of these? Probably not. Maybe Russell? We already have pitted, so yeah, not going to do that. We did not jump Russell. So unfortunately, we just got slowed down just enough there that we did not jump the man we wanted to jump. But Russell is actually good to just stay behind. He's in a Merc. He's quicker than us, so the DRS train should help. Now, Norris and Alonso and the rest here. The question is, are these guys just going to stay out on the old hards, or are they going to pit too? That's going to be the big one. We actually did overtake Russell. So now we're hunting down Vettel ourselves. And then Alonso, Norris, Ocon. And hopefully, Hamilton. No pit stops this lap either. So, again, we just need to hunt down Vettel. And then get moving from there. We did have a yellow flag there for an instant.
Sounds like someone's locked up.
Kind of need to get by quick here too, so that Russell doesn't run away. And we just aren't able to do that. Might be that this is one of the tracks when you actually use the battery to overtake, that you need to just tell your driver to drive in clean air. But as you can see, Russell is just flying up the track now. We probably won't be able to catch up with him now. Vettel is being a roadblock for us. Pretty challenging roadblock too. But yeah. Let's see where we stand in 12 laps time. Does unfortunately look like we are not getting anything out of this race, which is unfortunate, but did make a pit stop blunder there in the first one, unfortunately. We are maybe going to get Ocon here. Latifi's done a good job. He actually caught up to Show. but yeah, it's gonna be one of those that don't, you know,
Max
make history.
Verstappen over the finish
But it's still an
line,
okay
and
race,
today's
and
winner.
after this we should actually be getting some more upgrades, the Red Wing among others. And then we can probably get started on the next underfloor, maybe. We'll see. So, the results here. Verstappen wins. Alpha. The McLarens. Not really anyone that we need to be too worried about here. Haas and Alpine are basically going to be our rivals here, I think. Maybe Merc even, we'll have to see. It's a bit of a weird one. So, each point is very, very valuable here, which is also a concern. Single development point for Stroll, which is beautiful. That is pace. And we have manufactured the chassis, and both of them actually have development points. Great. Stroll goes up to 82, 85 braking now. Latifi down to 76, braking at 77. And apparently we do have the regulation vote today. Minor technical changes. Okay, so what this basically tells us is what are we going to be focusing on next year. So I guess we'll just vote low speed. Honestly, but we're bad at both, so it doesn't really matter. Which is a horrible thing to say, but it is also reality. I get the point of the underfloor. Difficult race indeed, I must agree. Upgrade has been completed at the factory. And we will have some designs very, very shortly. We're still lacking a suspension because we broke one during practice. It was Latifi, forgot to mention it. The Latifi did break a suspension during practice, simmed it, as they usually do. And Sidepods is complete. Can actually do research now. Now, Sidepods take some time to manufacture, so we're not actually going to have them for the next race, even if we speed things up. So, guess we'll do them rushed, because that way we'll get them in time. And we will start a new design project. I'm pretty sure we have made one of everything now. Well, we haven't made the chassis yet, but it's currently in production. So the next thing, of course, then is the underfloor. Can't use CFD until we use it on the other parts, so I don't need to worry about that. And are we going to go low speed here? Balance things out, or are we going to go high speed? Now, if we go high speed, we get to 520. Side of this, or we just do optimized aero and get a boost to everything. I still think the getting low speed here would benefit us. It would balance it out, and we will probably make another underfloor this season. Let's be honest. It's still an upgrade, so let's do it. 4 engineers intense. It's going to be done probably around the summer break, which isn't great because, of course, it's far away, but it's not the worst. Suspension design has been not design. Suspension has been manufactured. The regulation mode went through for low speed downforce. Okay. We're going to have to do some research on that for sure. But yeah, we manufactured the suspension, and we have also finished the design of the rear wing. And we'll actually have one ready for the race here. So Stroll's going to get a little bit of another boost here, as it has usually been. We started on the second wave. One we're actually going to make immediately another rear wing. That is actually the play here, because we just use CFD on the rear wing, unless I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure I'm not mistaken. But my memory is kind of hazy. Again, I am recording this while semi-sick. Been in bed for the last couple of days, so hopefully my memory doesn't fail me within the same recording session. That would make me very, very sad. But yeah, high-speed performance. This would be a massive boost. We're getting closer in acceleration. I think we are going to do this. Just get this rear wing made. And again, we are going to have to try and balance things just as we go. And I think this is the play. It's also going to make our DRS way more competitive. So let's get that into production. And once we get the chassis finished, we're gonna make probably a new suspension, new sidepod, that entire shebanger. And also, before I forget, there is actually, I'm actually kind of starting to feel a little bit stressed. That new rear wing, that is again a boost on several forms here, particularly in the dirty air. Look at that, it brings us up to the back of the grid, to back of the midfield, and we're going to put that on car 2 for sure. So let's see how this first Italian Grand Prix goes. Emilia Romagna, hopefully scoring some points, but seeing how it's gone so far, I'm not too hopeful. Wish me luck. All right, we made it into Q3, which is good. Didn't have the best quality though. As you can see, we're about a 10th away from 7th. 2/10 away from, well, second row, front row. So not super bad, but look at this. Verstappen has 3/10 on Leclerc. It's mad, really. Latifi, unfortunately, 16th. Did have an incident where he ran wide. Otherwise, I think he would actually made it to Q2. Bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, in terms of the tyres here, softs not really good at all. Medium hard stint is probably the best bet. Mediums will be quicker than the hards for 30 laps, and after that, the hards will start putting out. But really, with the tire you want to be on here is just straight up the mediums, because you'll not be running those for 60 laps, so the hards won't actually become quicker. It's just that after 30 laps on the mediums, you can find them with 30 lap old hards. Now, with that in mind, medium to hard is probably the best strategy, just straight up, unless we get a safety car. We could also start on the hards, but I think we are just going to have to start on the mediums here and try and make something out of it. And if we have a safety car or, some weird situation, we might be able to take advantage then. But right now, we're going to try and maximize every chance of winning. And that includes maybe, sticking it out a little bit longer on the mediums. Which is a risk because we are struggling with overtaking. So we'll see. Depends on what happens during the race itself. I don't think we're going to bother overfueling here. We have the most fuel efficient engine, so usually we don't really struggle for fuel.
All eyes are on the race here at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
I see a hard.
And it's lights out.
I
And
think.
away we go.
Yeah, there's a couple of hard runs there. Latifi should be, even if it's Latifi, he might be eating up some people in the near future. Now Stroll looks pretty stable. Again, it's a bit of a shame there. If we had a little bit of better quality, we could have started a little bit higher. But it is what it is. Latifi is making moves. We have a yellow flag. I see Verstappen in the wall. So Verstappen is going to be doing a last to first challenge here, I think.
Now here we see Max Verstappen.
If he can still continue, which I assume he can, since we didn't get a safety car. So yeah, Verstappen is going to be doing a last to first challenge. Looking forward to it. As I said, during quali, he was running 3/10 quicker than P2. So you can imagine that this isn't probably the worst thing to happen to him. If we get a safety car in this race, he can redeem himself no problem. Did he go into hards? He did. Norris also went off track. We are currently finding Rick. We are out of energy though. Want to tune that down.
Gareth enabled.
But right now we are actually sitting really, really pretty here. We're sitting in 7th. Hopefully Sainz can hold on to Leclerc and Gasly. But even if he can't, we're sitting in a pretty decent DRS train. We could forcefully have Latifi here to just cut it off at 11th. But he might just end up doing that anyways. Again, I don't think Latifi is going to be keeping up with the other cars. So using him as a living bollard might actually be the play here. For now though, we're going to just allow things to progress, mostly until we get to the first pit stop. I should probably try and recharge a little bit here. But it's also very risky because I usually need to get overtaken, and Rick is looking to get that overtake done. So we'll just stay as is, and we'll see if we can jump someone in the pits here once we get there in, well, 20-ish laps. We've had an incident, crash on track. Stroll is currently up to 5th. We have been pushing quite aggressively here. It is a yellow flag. Is it Gasly? It is Gasly who has crashed here, so we are getting potentially a position here for free. He's doing the same thing that Verstappen did. But yeah, we are pushing both Latifi and Stroll. We are going to be pitting lap 24-ish, so I'm basically just trying to get the most out of these tires, maybe force a gap here. We are outside of DRS of Alonso right now, so I'm just going to go full on attack, see if we can maintain that gap, and as I said, have a little bit of an advantage here when it comes to pitting on these tires, because we will be pitting, as I said, a couple laps earlier, lap 24 most likely, so in 4 laps time. Latifi's up into 10th, so
stonking lap.
I think we're just going to have him push as well and use what he can here. He also has a bit of extra energy, sorry, not energy, fuel. And we'll see if we can, as I said, extend that gap, or if it's going to get eaten up here, because these tires are going to be, you know, suffering. But once they've, you know, finished suffering, we are going to be pitting. And hopefully we can pit into a window that is beneficial for us. That is going to be the goal. So Latifi, finding signs. Stroll up into 4th. Very, very good. And we are just a couple of laps away from pitting. Window has been ended. Alonso's actually pitting right now, so that might actually force us to pit this lap, which we are going to do, because otherwise he will probably jump us. He might even still jump us if we want onto the hards as well.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
And let's see where we actually end up coming out here. So we're going to come out pretty far back, but we are going to come out in fresh air ahead of Tsunoda. So this is a great window to come out of. We did come out of ahead of Alonso, which was the main goal. And for now, we're just going to run normal, I think. We do need to maintain these tires to the end, and it's a long way to go. Now, we could always, you know, try and gamble for a safety car, but I don't think there is a huge value in doing that. So we have pit stops happening now. Are we going to jump any of them? Not really. Hamilton and Perez was just a bit too far ahead. 1 lap is not enough. Leclerc, I don't think we're jumping him either, but we should be able to jump the rest here. And I'm pretty sure we did. Just double checking here. Leclerc, again, we did not jump. Hamilton, Perez. So yeah, we basically retained where we were before the pit stop started. Unfortunately, we don't have a DRS train here to take advantage of. But I'm still happy. Unfortunately, Latifi did kind of get screwed in this pit stop exchange. He is now in the DRS train up to 11th. Well, 13th. So yeah, he's not going to have a good time. And Stroll might also end up here having quite a bad time once Russell and Alonso catches up. Which is going to happen, let's be honest. They are quicker by 5/10 currently. So 7 more laps, give or take. We'll also have to see what these boys are doing, because they're staying out, so they're going to be on the mediums. Oh. Is this a safety car? I need to figure out if this is a safety car now. Figure out who has crashed. Those two are safe. Those two are safe. Perez is looking good. Latifi. Basically, the question is, do we pit for new set of mediums? Let's see, if we do pit, where would we come out? We'll come out pretty far back, let's be honest. Probably at the backest of the back, and these are fairly fresh, so let's face it, we're not going to pit. Once again, Latifi is in an incident that does not end up with a penalty for Latifi.
Okay, so there we have the Alpine.
So what happened to Alonso? He ran wide. But I'm curious what happened between not Alonso, Latifi, and Tsunoda. That's the interesting one. So, I guess we are going on to the mediums then to the end. Which is going to be a bit of a stretch.
It's a
Don't get me wrong.
collision. Let's have a look. Now we see the Williams here. And there's the
Okay, so Latifi turns in, but because... excuse me. Because the Aston had a minor lockup and got, you know, basically blocked the path there, the penalty went to the Aston. But yeah, it's gonna get curious now to see if Latifi can keep these mediums alive to the end. Just barely. It's gonna be close. So yeah. For now, we're just gonna keep things running as is. We are gonna kind of get bogged down here with a potential slower train. So we'll have to see what we do here with said slower train. It might not be slower because we do have... Actually, we do not have a good driver for this train. We are stuck with the others there. So we actually caught up to Paris and Hamilton because of this, so that's good. We're actually going to go ahead and recharge our energy here just to full. We should still be able to stick with them. And we'll see if we can get a good finish to this race a little bit later. Hopefully a bit more interesting. Gonna go normal now so we can get back up to the back there. So let's see how this goes. See if Latifi can get back up here. The hard runners are starting to pit with Magnussen starting here. We did set fastest lap just now, although it doesn't matter from a point perspective. But yeah, Magnussen has started pitting, and we actually have two more cars, Sainz and Vettel. We have detached Perez from the DRS train. As long as he helps with the cars behind, that is going to help us tremendously. We do need to get by Vettel though, hopefully quickly here. Please. Probably not going to pull it out off. We're going to have to do it with DRS here. And Perez is actually on us as well, but that's fine. Perez actually needs to... No, Perez actually has pitted. Okay, so to be fair, that Red Bull is actually in a good spot for us now to defend us against the rest of the Rabble. But yeah, I don't think we're catching the other Hamilton Leclerc, but we're up in a position now where potentially we will have a podium fight on our hands. So that is very, very promising. Latifi, again, just doing his own thing. Not really much we can do for him. Can't really push. That'll bring the times below 30. And can't really do that on Stroll either. So we're basically just going to nurse our way to the end here. Try and stick with Perez as much as possible. And basically use Perez as, you know, both a shield, but also defense here. So we might just want to stick behind him as much as we can. I'm going to try and recharge to full without losing DRS. And the goal here would just be to sit behind Perez and hopefully, by doing so, protect ourselves from Russell and Gasly. I think they are going to catch up with us at one point. And also, you know, not put ourselves in front of Perez so that the cars behind can get DRS and, you know, do a double overtake alongside Perez in a DRS zone. So we're going to try and keep that going to the end, and we'll see if this strategy pays off at all. Looking good so far. By basically switching places with Perez back and forth, we've kept Russell and the cars chasing us at bay. 3 laps to go now. Verstappen has not had a good day on his challenge, but we have full energy. We have plenty of fuel. We have some tire. We don't have a lot of tire. We have some tire. And honestly, if we do get by on the straight here, we're just going to send it because we kind of need to. But I think we can. There's 2 laps remaining. We're currently on our second to last lap. We are going to start pushing fuel just so we can stay close. And we're also going to go aggressive here because this next straight line, if you will, is going to be our best chance of just getting the overtake done. But I don't think I'm going to use the ERS. We're going to need that for defense, basically.
It's close.
So let's see now if we can get the Red Bull with DRS now. And it looks like we are going to get it done. So what we are going to do is use it for defend, I think. That should be okay. And now we're just going to push to the end. Latifi, again, has actually had his races ruined by other people so far this season for the most part. And it is... Oh, I did not want to put it to maximum speed. But we did get third.
That's Leclerc.
Podium.
Charles
Beautiful.
Leclerc is today's winner.
Leclerc wins in Italy
That's the flag.
for Ferrari. Have to be happy with that. But a podium is way more than I expected here, I'll be honest. And, well, no chance of us getting Hamilton here. No chance of it getting Leclerc. But still, we'll take it. Verstappen did get a fast lap in the end, ended up 13th. And Latifi ended up 18th. It's the nature of the game, to be fair. And Alpine scored points, Haas scored points again. Magnus is going to be a menace that we're going to have to deal with. But we did score points, and that's the important part. And with that, we're now up into 6th, ahead of Haas. And again, with this new point scoring system, as long as Stroll can just consistently score high up, 4th, 5th, podium, maybe a win, we might actually be in a good chance of finishing top 3. Again, we are pretty far behind already, but we're just 4 races in. We are going to get a pretty big upgrade to every single one of our parts once the, you know, safety boosted intense part comes through, and that's going to help us out massively. So we are exceeding expectations with a podium in Italy. I would hope so. And we should also have some new parts coming in now for next race, hopefully. Chelsea probably won't be able to make that in time, to be honest. We can always try. And as said, I don't like using emergency, so we're not going to do that. We won't get it in time, but we're still going to just keep on doing rushed. And we also need to start a new development project. So the thing that we need to do now is actually the front wing. And what I think we are going to be putting the safety and wind tunnels hours into is going to be low end, I think. Because let's face it, this front wing is bad at high speed, but that's a front wing. It's meant to keep you stuck to the floor. Give you grip in the corners. So even if you go low speed performance, the high speed aspect will still be most prevalent. Like, that'll still be our strongest suit. If we go high speed, we become really, really strong on the, you know, medium and high speed tracks, but we'll lose cornering. And I'm, again, very unsure what I put the underfloor to. Current projects underfloor. I really wish I would tell you what preset you use, because I don't remember, but I think we're just going to do, again, I really need to start taking notes when I do play this game, don't I? I'm sorry for being so scatterbrained today, more so than usual. I'm pretty scatterbrained usually, but today is actually just a straight up a new level. We could go balanced with just optimized aero. It's actually not a bad thing. We're still lacking the low speed though. That's my biggest gripe. If we do this low speed, it's gonna balance the car more. If we do high speed, we're gonna be a lot better there. If we do aero, we're still gonna be really good at the medium speed cornering. We're gonna jump straight up to the 3rd best car for that. We're gonna be the 4th best car if we do low, but it's gonna boost us by 2 places. I think we do low. Could do optimized aero just so that we get, you know, the benefits of the CFD spread evenly. This way we could boost the next edition from wing even more. Because I think I did low end on the underfloor. But again, I keep on saying I should take note, and then I get started, and then I don't take notes. This is going to take forever though, 60 days. But let's get it started. I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be okay. It's, again, I could probably do, again, low speed, but I think this is okay. And if I've done a top speed rear wing, I'll crawl to the cross and say that we made a no street car. Let's have a look at the current projects. For the chassis, we don't need all these engineers, so we're going to put just one on it. It'll be done in 5 days. No, sorry, that's wrong. I didn't take off engineers. I took off, you know, parts. So let's not do that. I need to nab engineers from somewhere, but there's no good place. So guess once the rear wing project finishes, we'll nab an engineer to put them on the front wing. Although from a technical perspective, it's probably better for us to do it just now. But we will not. So it is what it is. Okay. We are now in Miami, which will probably be the final race of this episode. Again, it's probably a pretty lengthy one. It's been a lot of things have happened. And let's just have a quick look here on the warehouse, because I think that we've forgotten something. Chassis is new, front wing is good, rear wing needs to be put onto Latifi's car, which will help him quite a bit there, bringing up to 11th. So yeah, picking low speed might have been the wrong choice here with that rear wing upgrade already. Sidepods, we have new ones, not a huge upgrade, gonna hurt the engine cooling a little bit, but we can put them on both cars. Underfloor is good, suspension is good, so we did have 2 upgrades, and currently our car is just generally quick. Not too quick under DRS, but then again, DRS is DRS. Cornering is still, you know, something we're lacking, but I was curious about McLaren, so they only got high-speed cornering going for them, basically, so okay, that explains it. They're good at medium speed dirty air though. And the Haas, they actually have the best low speed cornering in all the cars, all the teams. That explains why Magnus is scoring points reliably, and probably why it's going to be a big pain in the ass as the season progresses. But let's get Miami done, and we'll see where we stand at the start of this new 3rd season. New upgrades are looking fairly interesting. As you can see, we're currently 7th and 8th after the first run in Q1. I think we're safe, so we're going to gamble on not wasting any soft tires here. And I want to see if this is actually safe enough for us to stay here. You're probably worried because Latifi is fast and Stroll, but I sent both cars out when I realized the game was paused, so Latifi was basically inside Stroll's behind, meaning he had DRS and, you know, slipstream for the entirety of the quali. So that is why Latifi's lap time is fast and Stroll. He benefits from slipstream, and if this was Q3, they'd both be... Sorry, if this was Q2, they'd both be through. So it's looking very, very promising. Hopefully we can keep it going. Now, the main concern is the fact that we don't actually have an extra set of softs here. I saved an extra set of hards, but I forgot that you had to return 2 sets, so it took the soft that I used, and, well, it also took a fresh soft, so I should have used a set of the mediums then, since I wanted to save the tires. But it's been a while, so again, I'm woozy, I'm silly. But basically, apparently this is the best way to, you know, qualify when you have a teammate who's a tenth slower. You don't really... Stroll doesn't actually lose anything, I'm pretty sure here. And Latifi benefits, but that's going to be a painful train to go through. And as you see, you can just see how far behind Latifi ended up there because of that train. But I want to try this again now in Q2. We do have another fresh set of tires. This is perfectly fine. And we'll be sending them out inside each other again. And I just want to see if we can force Latifi into Q3 by the power of this magic. And that's exactly why I'm sharing it with you. So let's see if we can help Latifi. Might have sent him out a little bit too close to Magnussen, but it should be fine. Magnussen is technically faster than us, so it's actually beneficial. But as you can see, Latifi is getting closer on the straights, and he actually did get a quicker time than Stroll. 6th and 7th. That's amazing. So let's do the same now for Q3, just quick. And we do have another fresh set of tires, which is good. And honestly, I don't know if I want to do this for the main quali, just in case. Well, this quali. Just in case we actually end up in a situation where, you know, Latifi starts out of Stroll and potentially is a bit too slow to get into that DRS train. That would be troublesome, but guess this is a very, very good way of helping a slower teammate. But again, remember, we did this run on all the tires, so the fact that we're this close is actually really, really encouraging. Okay, just giving it a little bit of time here. But yeah, I've really been enjoying the session. We still have plenty of time here, so we don't really need to stress out, but we do have the gap there, so might as well just send them. The only danger with this strategy is that if Latifi locks up, he's going to take out Stroll as well. That's the main risk. Let's see here. Okay, 7th and 8th in Q3. That is not bad at all. So the upgrades definitely have helped our car. And again, we aren't that far off, our top position here. Latifi is just 900s away from 6th. And 40 hundreds away from 5th, a 10th, 2 tenths away from front row. So our car is getting there, but at the same time, not only does our upgrades have an effect, but also the fact that all the other cars are really starting to run with worn components right now. So Miami is probably our best bet. Sorry about that, excuse me. It's probably our best bet of a victory. And because we do have 2 sets of hards, as you can see here, hards are quicker than the mediums just after 5 laps. Softs degrade super quick. They don't even last 5 laps before they're gone. Well, 5.5 laps technically. So if we can do medium, hard, hard, or hard, medium, medium, that would work out really, really well. So we actually do have the opportunity for that right now. We can do this. And do the middle stint is medium, final stint hard. And now we just move until we get a decent time here. So, as you can see, you don't really want to spend a lot of time on the mediums. I guess this is fine. It's just a very short medium stint there in the middle, which could backfire, honestly. But this will allow us to push fuel the entire way, meaning that we will have no problems with, putting fuel, overfueling. And generally this should be good. So, sorry, this is not supposed to be, this is supposed to be another hard stint. Okay, so something like this. Let's see, 31.16, they're both the same. Stroll just starts in the medium, so he pits a lot earlier. Question is if we do want to do this, because we are going to be, if we start in the medium, we are going to be quicker for like 5 laps, and then we're going to start losing out. Most cars are going to be starting on the mediums though, so it's probably not the worst idea. Splitting the strategy in this manner is probably not the best, so to speak, but I think it's something that we can do here, just because of the fact that we have 2 sets of hards. Which means, of course, we're going to be pushing, we're going to be overfueling, and we're going to be going directly for the overtake. So let's see here how the race start actually plays out for us.
And this is it, the Miami Grand Prix.
We have a Haas, second row. Magnussen is going to be a menace.
And away we go.
Okay, so Latifi there. Some medium runners, some hard runners up front. Stroll is immediately getting to work, which honestly is acceptable. I really wish there was an order that, with the new order system supposed to come in 23, I hope there is one where instead of just risks for overtakes, you can say when you are fighting your teammate, be lenient, little risks, no risks, that sort of thing. That would be good. I kind of want a team order, but team orders do get kind of wonky in this game, so I think I'm just gonna take Latifi and tune him down slightly. That should be enough for Stroll to get by, without Latifi really slowing down. Yes. Oh, so yeah, this is the double-edged sword here that we have Latifi kind of running in a position where he's slowing us down, but it's still okay. We're still within DRS. We're no longer within DRS. That's actually fine in this scenario, because in theory here we should get DRS from Stroll, and then it should just fly by.
Yellow red.
Actually, everyone did get it, so not as planned. But Stroll is by. We can now push fuel for Latifi 2.
It's a stonking lap.
Have Latifi deploy. Kind of need him to catch up here. Did get left behind a bit. And if he, again, we need him to get back into just DRS range. Give everything he can for that. And he is very nice. Put him to neutral. And we'll let keep... Ugh, sorry. I don't know what happened there. And we'll just let things keep going here. Apparently that was super difficult to say. Keep things going until we get to the pit stop. Apologies. Let's see where we're at in, 10 laps time. We are getting close to that first pit window. I'm thinking that we get Stroll in. He's probably going to come out, as you can see, at the back. So we are going to need some energy. I think we have enough here. That's really the only risk with this, that we get stuck in a DRS train. We need to fight it. But potentially also, it could very much pay off here if we sneak out with the head. Oh, just barely. That's fine. We are just behind the DRS here. That's acceptable. And the idea now is very simple. We hopefully jump cars in front of us by virtue of being quicker on the hards. And we already got Albon, maybe not. Although to be fair, Albon ahead of us through those corners is probably beneficial just because DRS. Although it looks like we're not getting the move done somehow. There we go. And yeah, we're currently 22 seconds behind the lead. And we'll have to see if we can actually, lessen that as we run this this stint. Now, these guys are going to be pitting unless they're doing a one-stopper. If they're doing a one-stopper, they're going to be suffering a lot in the near future. We have gained, I think, half a second there on the lead on that last lap. So we're going to keep this going, and we'll see where we're at in, once they start pitting. Just as I said so, we have Alonso and Perez jumping into the pits. We should have no problem beating them. No problem at all. And we have entered the pit window then for Latifi here. So we're honestly just going to go full on attack now. Try and close this gap to the cars in front. It is a pretty big gap at 4 seconds. Probably going to be difficult for Latifi to close, don't get me wrong. We're also kind of helping Albon out here because he has managed to latch onto our DRS here with Stroll. Really, really helpful. Now, again, I don't think pitting early is going to really help Latifi here because there's just too much mess he can get into. And he's kind of running the same lifetimes even if we're pushing, so we might as well pit. We're not going to be on the mediums for long. We do have another set of odds. The only issue here is potential safety cars causing us problems, but right now it's looking good. Stroll has gotten back to, or gotten up to that other DRS train.
Schumacher off.
Okay, that was scary. That was really scary.
Okay,
so Schumacher
good.
giving me, jump scares even in other playthroughs.
Right, watch this. There's Schumacher.
Just as we were about to go through that corner as well, just to add extra, fear to my
You have the overtake.
problems. So Latifi actually came out in a good position here at 15th. He's behind Schumacher, of course. But I don't think this is too bad. There are rooms where he can, make moves. So I wouldn't be too concerned here. Need to see if Stroll can get a move done. We don't really want to waste any ERS on the main straight here. We should be just flying by, really. And we kind of are. So the rest of the cars in front, they haven't pitted yet. The hard runners is understandable. The medium runners are probably doing the one stop. I'm a bit unsure. But that's what I would expect. So we'll have to see if we can close down. We're currently at 19 seconds. We have 10 seconds of free air. Let's see if we can, close up at the gap a little bit in that time. most of the front running cars now starting to pit. Magnus and Verstappen signs, as you can see. Stroll is already closing in the pit straight. Hamilton and Rick have not pitted yet, so we are actually in fact, first right now, I think. We do need to get by Bottas, though. He is kind of holding us up right now. So let's use some energy, get by him, not lose any more time. And we have Latifi too here. Kind of got boomed here. If Latifi had been a little bit quicker, he might have been out ahead of all of these and slotted in behind Stroll. But right now he's kind of in no man's land, which is very, very unfortunate for Stroll. Good chances. Latifi also has kind of a good possibilities here, mainly because, well, Magnus is gonna have to pit again for sure. No way he makes those mediums last 30 laps. If he does, they're gonna be dead. There are, of course, those that have yet to pit. Latifi will be pitting with them. Well, pitting later, that is. But even then, we'll have to see if he can make up for that time. Right now, if he's sticking with these guys on, declining mediums, as long as he sticks with Verstappen, I'm going to be actually fairly happy. Stroll did get Bottas. He actually got him in a position that we get Bottas DRS, I think. Yeah, we did. But right now, it's actually fairly okay. They're running 45 used hards. So 10 seconds to leader, that is nothing. Let's be honest. We've had a crash on track 2 here. Is this a safety car one? Doesn't look like it. Looks like everyone is moving. So
We've just had a crash
no
on the
safety
track.
car. Gasly had a bit of an incident in turn 6.
Here's the replay. Now look at this. It's Pierre Gasly. And there we
That
see
looks
the
spooky.
crash.
So that might be a busted rear wing. So Gasly might be very, very slow for the remainder of the race. There we go. Rick and Hamilton are finally both pitting. And Stroll will do, well, about a little bit less than 10 laps before we do pit him. And honestly, I'm tempted to just run aggressive now until we end up pitting. Because we are in a kind of a dominant position. We are going to be pitting again. But at the same time, we'll have a bit of a tire advantage towards the end. That's going to be the goal. Is this going to really pay off for us, though? Maybe not. Can these last to the end? Probably not, so we'll have to see here. Same for Latifi. Might just be that the one-stopper was the best option, and we missed out. We'll see. For now, though, I think it's fine with, as I said, go aggressive. Could probably do the same with Latifi in a couple of laps. But we are definitely getting caught up by the cars behind.
Position gained for Mercedes.
The main thing now is that we need to try and create a space where we can come out where we aren't in too much traffic. So, Sainz, if we can get between those two, that would be great. But again, it's gonna be difficult. The best thing here would be if we got a safety car to, help us out. But that is also fairly doubtful. Now, let's see if we pit now. When can we expect to... Probably behind Sainz, no matter when we actually do end up pitting. Let's just go full attack for a lap, see if they still gain on us. If they do, we are going to be pitting. I can do the same here for Latifi, because he's getting kind of left behind as well. Honestly, getting Latifi in this lap is probably for the best. Just so that he doesn't get into the, this DRS train. And we can do the same for Stroll, because he is losing a lot of time right now. And once we get out, we can start pushing fuel. So it should come out behind Sainz. That is kind of what we expect. Same for Latifi. Did kind of end up with a double stack there, unfortunately. But right now we can sit back, relax, and see if we do run quicker. The tires won't be too different, though. This issue is about 20%. But even that should be good enough that we can catch up to them and potentially cause some pain here. We'll see, though. There we go. The other cars started pitting, doing their final pit stop. Hamilton, Magnussen, Rick, and Bottas. We jumped everyone, luckily enough, although we have stuck into the although we have been stuck into the DRS train here. But as you can see, there's a lot of cars here at 40%, 20%, so We have opportunities here to jump even higher. Unfortunately, once again, Latifi pulled the short straw and got stuck behind some of the pitting cars. Should have pushed him a little bit harder, honestly. If I'd pushed his fuel, he probably would have been in a lot of
We look at reducing the
much better
lift and core.
position.
Copy.
So I assume Gasly is going to be pitting this next lap. So for now, we're just going to recharge and then we're going to push by. Hopefully. Because Sainz has been stuck behind Gasly as well. So there we go. Gasly is pitting. And now we have to deal with 40%ers. So we are getting slowed down quite a bit. And it is unfortunate, but it's just how it is. We can push a little bit of fuel here. Give us a little bit extra speed. And I think we're going to go aggressive in this section and see if we can get by. Perez and Alonso pits. Meaning that we only have Sainz in front of us right now. So that overtake should be easy once we get to the DRS zone. And I want to do it in the DRS zone so that we get a little bit extra momentum. But it looks like Stroll has already just done it. Latifi is also now part of this DRS train and is in the points.
There's an overtake from Williams.
Which is amazing. Very, very amazing. So, again, it's 11 laps. Can Stroll close down? Excuse me. Do we think Stroll can close down the cars in front? It's going to be difficult. So, we'll save up some fuel. It'll give us something to play with and potential, you know, make something work. 32.5 versus a 33.5. We're gaining a second. But unfortunately, that's not enough. We need to gain 2 seconds if we wanted to catch Leclerc here. It is what it is. Get 1.4? We could, but again, it's very, very unlikely. So let's not do a silly gamble here. Let's also tune down Latifi before he uses all his fuel. And give him a bit of overtake here. See if we can make a move on the Haas. Looks like we just don't have enough speed. That's the main one. So we have actually closed down a lot there. Down to 14 seconds now. Is this doable if we push the tires and push the fuel? Could potentially be, but it's also risky. The stretch that we are creating now, though, in this, you know, field could help Latifi get 7th at least. So it's not all bad. Oh, we have a safety car. Not something that we will not be pitting, I don't think. But we will conserve. And safety car does not benefit us, I think. It's Albon that's out.
There's a big crash.
Copy.
So, if we were to pit, we would be overtaken by everyone. We'd lose, probably be out of the points. The cars in front of us are not pitting either, so no reason for us to. Gasly is pitting again, okay. But this does close down that gap, and tire-wise, we have big advantage. We'll have fuel we can push, we'll have ERS we can use for overtake, so this restart is actually going to be massive. And we should have like 2-3 laps to play with, maybe 4. For now though, let's just recharge and get ready for an interesting end to this race. Yeah, this safety car kind of came in clutch here. But of course, if the restart is bad, it could also be very, very negative. So, okay, lap cars may overtake. Guess Schumacher. Show maybe 2. So, a safety car should be in this lap, meaning we get 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 laps of racing. And I think we're just going to go all out aggressive from the get-go.
Safety car in this lap.
Yep.
Happy to increase pace.
So once again, the idea is that we go aggressive once we get to... Well, we can actually do it from here. We'll go aggressive now, and let's have a look from Stroll's perspective, if he can make something happen here. Just watch a lap and relax.
Okay, we can easily overtake.
Pretty aggressive there from Latifi. Almost did the move.
Overtake is available if needed.
Copy.
Looks like we are keeping up with Leclerc, but Verstappen is already pulled outside of DRS. So we need to get by ASAP. So I'm thinking we go full aggressive on... Well, we could probably go full attack on the tires, but we just aren't quick enough. Latifi is sneaking up to Sainz there, so we'll have to see if we can stick something out through the corners. Just bullying his way through. Very, very nice. Let's give you full attack into, you know, the main straight here. Well, the back straight, main straight, one of them.
Okay.
And I think Ferrari still has, you know, higher top speed than us. And that is one of our problems here. But we kind of need to... We do have tire advantage. We need to use that tire advantage to try and get close and get by.
Currently 3 laps remaining of the race.
Looks like we're currently going to be kind of stuck for a while, unfortunately. I'm going to give Latifi 2 the full attack here. And we did get 1, which means I'm going to tune it down to neutral, so we don't use all the energy. And the goal will be to get Russell on the next lap. We're going to tune down Latifi 2.
DRS
And with the
is
DRS
available.
now enabled, we should be able to get Russell if he's outside of Verstappen's DRS range when he gets to the main straight. Should be no contest, we should just fly by. I hope. There we go. Now we deploy. To close in on Verstappen. Good.
So 1 more lap.
And we need to sit behind Verstappen now. We didn't. That's the problem. Because Verstappen is going to get us on the main straight again. Can I slow myself down just enough, or do I just send it?
And there's an overtake from Williams.
So Latifi actually got overtaken by Bottas. Give him overtake his final lap, let him do anything he can.
And use overtake, use overtake.
The question is,
Copy.
can we hold off Verstappen here? I don't think so. I think we're going to get immediately re-overtaken once we get to the, you know, the long DRS straight here. Or maybe not. Damn. That's beautiful. Unfortunately,
DRS is
TC
currently disabled.
couldn't
DRS
hold
is
on.
currently disabled.
But we have won a race.
That's the flag.
We'll take that. Take that for sure. That safety car really came in MVP. Shame Latifi couldn't hold on to the 7th and, you know, climb up a little bit higher. But,
Okay, checkered flag. Checkered flag.
yeah, we'll take this. For sure. I'm very happy. Very, very happy. So, Magnussen started 3rd. Luckily, didn't get a too many points for Haas. We actually won. I didn't think it would happen, but I'll take it. Very good. Puts Lance now 4th in the championship. 11 points behind Verstappen. And this should also push us fairly high up in the constructors. We're now just 3 points behind Alpha and 16 points behind Mercedes. But Mercedes is still going to be a tough nut to crack. Like, they're just 5 points between them and Ferrari top, Red Bull. So if we can keep this form going, pick up a few victories, then maybe, but it is going to be rough either way. Felt good though. And we get a point in braking to celebrate with. Very, very nice. Pusher has more points. We kind of are neglecting Pusher, but then again, what we're really racing here is going to be basically the devil, because he's going to go to another team and he's going to be a pain to drive against. Okay, congratulations. I could not be happier. Increase the board's confidence in you immensely, and will guarantee your job security and funding in recent to come. We don't need funding, and honestly, I don't think I need job security either. We need 4 more podiums to actually get this one, so it's looking very, very good. 5 races in, a win, a podium, both cars in Q3. Been looking really good. We have the Spanish Grand Prix in 11 days, but we're going to end this episode here. It's, again, probably been pretty long. I appreciate all of you who have watched it. Please do like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and to all of you who have already done so, thank you very much. It really is the best way to support me. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. And hope to see you next time. Again, I'm sorry that I've been extremely low energy, extremely scatterbrained. This part, again, working in school with children is just asking to get sick every month, I feel like. But I guess my immune system just isn't up to the task. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you all next time. Bye bye.